Hey, it's been one heck of a week at work, and I am ready to calm down out here in the garage. Welcome to Urban Monk TV. Hey you guys, welcome back to Urban Monk TV. Very happy to be out in the garage here this Saturday morning. I had one of those weeks at work where you question whether it's worth it. But that is behind me. I'm out here in my happy place and we're going to keep moving on this Cafe Racer seat. And I can see the light at the end of the tunnel with this project. Like this thing, I'll be riding it this winter. Sorry folks, I do live in a part of the world where I can ride all through the winter year-round. So one piece I want to touch on: subscribers. I'm almost to 800, so I can see that 1,000 subscriber mark, that milestone hanging out there, and would love to get there. Need your help, and if you haven't already subscribed, please click the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up on these videos if you like what I'm doing. For 2 years I've been doing this channel as, I've thought of it as a public service maybe in some way. I'm just sharing what I know, or at least what I'm willing to tackle and learn along the way. With the engine piece, if you guys have been following along, engines are an area where I've got a lot of experience and a lot of comfort there. Fiberglass seat pans, pretty new territory for me. So, it's a mixed bag here on Urban Monk TV. And painting with rattle cans, pretty good at that. I may on the next project step it up and go to a more of a professional two-part paint thing, but I've done this without monetizing and without thinking of monetizing up to this point. But I am a family man, and my job situation is fine for now, but I am thinking about the amount of time that I put into this. My wife and I are also facing a very, very large bill for orthodonture for our children, and just starting to think that maybe the channel should have some little bit of income to support it. I do not expect for this thing to be some sort of financially right side up business model, and I don't expect it to be, but please subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get on this seat. So when we last looked at this seat, I had really, in a hurry, put the Bondo or body filler on because the temperatures have been so high here in Southern California that the cure rate, or the speed at which this stuff hardens after you put the hardener in it, was just extremely rapid, like 3 minutes. And I was just in a hurry. So what I'm going to have to do here is smooth this out, get a look at where we need additional body filler, and just take this in stages. So I'm going to unbolt this and start doing some sanding work and some with the plane, and we'll move along. And while I'm working on the seat pan, I'm also going to be clear coating the parts that we painted last week, now that we've got our colors squared away. Here's a question I'd like to hear your opinions on. Clear coat. Can says, shake can vigorously for 1 minute after mixing ball begins to rattle. Well, what's it mixing? It's clear coat, not pigment. Let me know what you guys think. Is it necessary to shake clear coat as long as a color? They use the same can for every flavor here, and then they just put a little sticker on it for what color it is. Love to hear your opinions. Leave a comment below. As those of you that are following along know, I'm doing this bike as a budget project, and I believe the #1 area where I'm saving money is painting. By using rattle can paints, the amount of expense that I can shave off this project is really greater than probably any other area. And you might say, well, Urban Monk, but powder coating is so much more durable, and you'd be right. But look at what's on here. I mean, in the 70s and a lot of the 80s, well, most of the 80s, all the manufacturers were still painting frames and painting accessories. And you know, I've worked in industry where paint is more durable than you think. And once you have your frame powder coated and have all that expense in it, then you're going to wrestle your engine into it. And if you chip it, how do you repair that on a powder coated frame? If I get any nicks or rock chips or anything like that, I can just touch it up because I can go to the hardware store and buy more of the cheap paint. That's my thought process on it. I've really come to like this thing for making quick progress. It's just very aggressive and makes a nice clean cut. And the body filler is soft and flexible, so it cuts it well. So I've just been keeping the plane in constant motion. As I'm doing this, I'm thinking about this, working my way all around, and then the light spots are the high areas and the darker spots are the low areas, and trying to achieve one uniform color. And clearly I've removed a lot of material. So here are my thoughts on what I'm trying to do here. I've noticed as we've kind of settled in that this area was just slightly higher than this area, so I've been trying to build up the body filler material here but not here. So the idea is I want to get down to the fiberglass here so that I'm not building up, but here I don't want to see this. I want to see an increase in material, so that's what I'm doing there. And then just everywhere I'm looking, I know I got to stop shaving here because I'm down to the fiberglass resin. But here I've got, you know, dark spots. That's a low spot. The light spots are the higher spots. Trying to get all of these to go away without bringing it down too much. So I may have to come back with more Bondo and fill these areas in. So this is just a little bit here, you know, put material on, remove material. Put material on in specific areas, remove material. Maybe do it again and remove until we get where we want to be, and it takes a long time. It's at this point it's sculpture. As I'm sanding along here, I can see so clearly, especially now that I'm hand sanding, you know, the dark areas are kind of high spots here. Now the lighter spots are where all the dust is collecting. It's collecting in the valleys, in the low spots. And then of course where I'm down to the fiberglass is certainly a high spot. So clearly this area here, for me, is a place to come back and add more body filler material. For Bondo work, here's a handy little trick I just stumbled upon, frankly. I grabbed this piece of plexiglass and used it on both sides to mix Bondo, and rather than do a bunch of work cleaning this up with acetone or my ketone after the fact, I just let it get dry on there. But the plexiglass comes with this protective layer, and you can just peel it off, and I'm back to a nice clean surface for mixing it up again. And you know, buy a sheet of this stuff, it's pretty cheap. So I've got things really sanded down here. I know my low spots and my valleys and my high spots. Time for some more body filler on here to fill in the, well, all the valleys. But I got to get this cleaned up for a good bond. I'm going to start just blowing it off. Hey. Okay, so in an attempt to be a little bit more attentive to the fast curing Bondo that I'm working with, I did not film what I worked on here, but essentially I just wanted to build up this edge a little bit, give myself some more material to work with so I can make that clean, and then same thing over here. Just filled in a lot of material so that I have something I can sculpt down into a clean looking surface, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna let that cure. So I've been sanding many hours and sparing you guys that, but as I sand, it gets smoother and smoother, and then the little imperfections, I keep going back, filling them in, sanding down, fill them in, sanding down, and each time I do it, the number of imperfections goes down, and eventually I'm gonna say done. So hey you guys, that's gonna have to be it for this week. I just ran out of time. Had a lot going on. Played some drums, went and saw a friend's band play, washed my everyday bike, the V-Strom, and but I'm pretty thrilled with the progress we made here. This thing is starting to get really smooth, and just filling in the little spots. And we will soon be sending this off to my good friend Rodney, who's the upholstery master, and he's got Allison Sales and Canvas. I've mentioned them before in North Carolina. So he's great with the sewing machine and with tough fabrics, and he's got a plan. So I'm going to send it to him and see what kind of magic he can work there. Hey, if you like what I'm doing, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think about shaking clear coat. And I really appreciate you guys watching. Take care.